Welcome everybody to the Juggling Life Finding Balance podcast. I'm Vivian Cumins, and today we have a special treat. We have Stacey Szczepanski back in the house today. How are you, Stacey?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, for those who are listening and watching, you all may remember her from episode number 33. It aired back in November of 2024, and it was called The Bait and Switch: How Being Catfished Set Stacey Free. And Stacey and I, in that episode, we talked about her amazing journey, her story about how she was catfished, and her book, Unlocking Love. And I have her book here with me right now so we can remind everybody. And so I have asked Stacey to come back today for just a little mini episode because she has some really exciting news for us. What is your exciting news, Stacey?
Well, the book is now on audiobook on all the major platforms. So if you are an audiobook listener, you can get it and listen to it now. And I think the most important part too is that I narrate it. So you will hear my voice go through the words that I wrote and share to the world.
I love that. So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of both audiobooks and the printed. I have them both. It really just kind of depends on my mood. But I am so impressed with you that you read your own story. And so before we kind of get into the audiobook part of it, if you could just kind of remind our listeners, what is this book about and who is Stacey?
Well, I'm Stacey, and this book it's titled Unlocking Love: How Being Catfished Deepened My Faith and Led Me on a Journey to Wholeness. So, I was catfished actually, oh my gosh. I'm just not remembering. Um, Everything surfaced 9 years ago on the 27th of June. So, that's kind of
Okay.
that's like next week
Now, it
of
is this
what
week. Next
we're
week, yeah.
yeah. So I was catfished. I had been talking to this person online. Ended up not being who he said he was, and there was a lot of emotional, mental, even some physical abuse. Um, and so it's my healing journey from that point forward, and just navigating relationships, growing my faith even stronger. I was raised Catholic, and that journey to finding my relationship with Jesus and where I am today in my faith, and ultimately discovering who God has created me to be, and finding myself along the way. And I do a lot of solo adventures, and so I write about that. And the audiobook, obviously, since it is the book, it talks about that. So yeah, that's kind of like the recap of the whole story itself.
It is an amazing story. I loved reading it. I'm really looking forward to getting the audio version of it too. But I'm curious, do most authors do an audio version of their books? And if not, what inspired you to do so?
It's a great question. I don't know the first part of the answer. I guess maybe it depends on what publishing route some people take,
Yeah.
or for me personally, Unlocking Love released in paperback and shortly after, God said, okay, you're going to do the audiobook.
Okay.
Okay. So that was my process. I didn't know why at the time. He was calling me to do the audiobook. Um, but I do now. And a part of that process was just another layer of my healing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one thing to write the words, and it's a whole nother thing to say them out loud and relive those experiences. Um, you can even hear, at least I can, because I'm the narrator, but it'll be interesting, Vivian, knowing that you've read this story and that we've had our podcast time and chat times, and so you know me, of how my voice kind of changes as well throughout the audiobook. And that's something I noticed, and I don't know, I might just be attuned to it, but I did find it really interesting, like the heavy, dark times it was hard. It was hard to say out loud. And then as my healing continued, as Jesus really entered my life in a whole new way, my voice even just sounds more free, and it was easier to record the words. The the more I was able to get into the recording of it too. So
Yeah, that was going to be my question is how difficult was that for you to read aloud some of those intimate emotional times in your life? How did that so I guess I need to understand how long does it take to read through it? Do you do it like in pockets, like every day, you do a couple hours a day? And how did that leave you feeling after you had sessions where you would read some of this book?
it's a great question, because in my head, I thought it would take me like 3 or 4 sessions. I'd
Mm-hmm.
be good to go. I we have a local recording studio around here, so that was kind of like the time frame. I had spring break. I'm an educator, so spring break was coming up. I was like, this will be perfect timing.
Get it
And
done then.
uh-huh, I started recording, and I think probably 2 days in, I got really sick.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. I got really, really sick. And I think it was a combination of a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do believe that, again, I'm saying these words out loud, and that's part of another layer coming out. And so I started at the beginning of April, and I wasn't able to finish it until the end of April. And then there was a lot of editing, and well, not a lot, actually. I mean, I might be a recovering perfectionist. So when I didn't have to go into the studio to re-record a lot, I was quite happy. But yeah, but I was done in April, and I didn't release it. It wasn't fully ready to release until I released on December 2nd of
Mm-hmm.
2024.
Okay.
So there was
Okay.
still a large span of time
Mm-hmm.
in between. But it's an interesting process for sure, to be in the studio
Yes.
and to have like that engineer on the other side, um, stopping and pausing and like yeah, it was
Yes. I
pretty
would
cool.
suspect that it was definitely an emotional experience for
Mhm.
you. Did it leave you drained at the end of the day?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it left me very drained. And you're
Yeah.
in this soundproof, basically, box.
Mm-hmm.
So just the darkness, and yeah, but it's a very therapeutic, but also like I left the studio with such a lightness and brightness as
Mm-hmm.
well. Um yeah, but I was definitely drained. And looking
Yeah.
back now, I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know, but I would have cushioned myself a little bit more and not uh, feel like I had to um, get it done in like
Mm-hmm.
a 4 day span of time. I think it also, when you're recording a book, depending on one, you can narrate your own book, but also you can have people narrate it.
Right.
I think it also depends if it's a memoir or what genre it falls under,
Mm-hmm.
like how how much energy it'll take. So this
Right.
was an exhausting one because it's my story that God's
Yeah.
blessed me with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I can't help but imagine that God had a purpose for that, right? You said
Mhm.
yourself that you felt that God was prompting you to do the audiobook. So it's probably as much for you as it is for anyone who's going to pick it up and listen to it.
100%.
Yes. Well, I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on both your audio and your paperback book.
Mm.
Can you share with those of us who might want to get this? Tell us how we get a copy of the audio version.
Sure. So it's on Audible, Spotify, Apple, um, really all the major platforms. I have it on Hoopla, so you can rent it from the library. I mean, I don't know what platform it's not on. So check
There
your
you go.
platform
Right
and
on.
see. Yeah. Yeah. And you
Right
can also
on.
get it off my website. I have all the links on my website, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. All those are other sources to get them from too.
Could you tell us what your website is one more time?
It's my first and last name.com. So StaceySzczepanski.com. And if you don't spell my last name right, then you're not going to get to the website.
We'll make sure that we have it listed here and we'll link folks to it because it is a long name.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Very good. Well, folks, the book is called Unlocking Love: How Being Catfished Deepened My Faith and Led Me on a Journey to Wholeness. Stacey, thank you so much for being here today. I love you, friend.
Thank you. Love you too.